So here I am starting a new job. Got a horizontal cylinder going in an attic space, and both of these are sitting on joists and they'll be fixed down. So we've got the hot, the cold, and the flow and return, discharge, immersion. That's going to be capped off. I haven't got that. Just going to run the pipes along here. Have the boiler on that wall that's been relocated. It's an old galvanised tank. And then there's the current setup they've got. They've got obviously the F&E main cold water storage tanks. That's all going, all high pressure, done all my flow tests and everything. So yeah, that will be running, and so that's the job starting today. See how we get on. So it's about 1 o'clock on the first day. This is what I've got so far. Just going to connect up that expansion vessel. When I went on my courses, a lot of the blokes are saying that you can actually put an isolation on expansion vessel, and that it's a bit of a myth. So that's what I'm going to do. I've got a lever valve, then I just take off the handle and then put a T in a drain cock, so if that ever needs to be charged or serviced, it just makes it a lot easier. I mean, it is up in an attic, so no one's really going to fiddle with it. Combination valves in. Then you've got the balance coil coming off just down there, which go back. That's the mains coming in, going up, and then the discharge I have to connect up, and that'll go out there. Hot's over there, and then the heat and flow return with some air vents on top, manual ones. With the high pressure, obviously you don't seem to get the airlocks, but and it normally pushes through, but I always put them on just in case. And then the boiler's going over there. There's this old galvanised tank, which obviously the previous chap who put the new plastic one in couldn't get out, so he's left that there. So I've got to slide that out, but there's a beam here, but I'm sure we'll find a way. And then yeah, boiler on the wall, S-plan, bypass valve, etc. And then these pipes, so they'll go along that back up to the boiler, and then along there, and then connect. There's an airing cover down there, so it's a 3-pot at the moment, so we're connecting onto that heating, flow and return. Then obviously that cylinder return will be the last one joining in, so no reverse circulation, anything like that, which is quite handy. Didn't have to think about that too much. Condense is going out the back, going down into waste outside, and the discharge will run next to it, and I've done that. I'm going to do that in black, just makes it look a bit neater. So yeah, that's what I've got to so far. Boiler coming tomorrow. I've got the cylinder elsewhere because there's quite a lot of wait time on them at the moment with my merchant, so I managed to source one somewhere else. So yeah, that's where I've got to at 2 o'clock on day 1. Right, that's it for today then. Like I said, that expansion vessel is connected now. I'll put a drain cock on an isolation valve. That handle I will take off, and the people obviously will let them know when I explain it all about turning stuff off, and if they ever need to do anything in an emergency in the future. I tend to always do that, especially with a new install, because obviously you're putting high pressure pipe work on old pipe work, etc. So it saves both you and the customer if the worst was to ever happen. I just got to do that discharge, and then I've got to leave to go and grab some bits. But I mean, it was a struggle getting that cylinder through the loft hatch as well, which took a while this morning. Had to take the ladder out and everything like that. Wait for it to wait for some help to lift it in, etc. But yeah, happy so far. Like I said, the boiler back there. Then yeah, all that to go really. Obviously lower the pressure in that expansion vessel, doesn't need to be that high. So yeah, on to day 2 now. Just got this boiler hung up on the wall, an Ideal Logic Max 30 kilowatt. Could be S-plan, bypass, filter installed. So connect it all onto them, what needs to be connected, and they're going along there down to the airing cupboard for all the old stuff. So yeah. So this is where I got to on day 2. Cylinder all connected up to the boiler. External filling loop on there is there's not one on there. However, there is a gauge, but I always put a gauge there because there's nothing worse than not being able to see how much pressure is, etc. Ideal filter in the corner, S-plan, both of them in there, and then the bypass. So yeah, and then those pipes over there, they're running along. Obviously flow return, balance cold, and then hot. So convert them tomorrow, and then run this off the immersion until the heating's all set up. Or somehow got to get a gas pipe up here, but I haven't figured that out yet. And do the flue and whatnot, condense, PRV, and discharge on this. But yeah, getting there. Morning. So I didn't film much yesterday because I had a busy, hectic day and just forgot really. So I'll show you what I did yesterday upstairs later on in the video. But today this is the downstairs. This is where the old boiler was. People ripped out the kitchen, etc. And basically what I've got to do, I've just taken off the boiler, and then I've got hot and colds coming down here, and heat and flow and return. And then the old gas, but that's all dead, so I cut that all back. And then the heating comes up there and goes up. It's a bit bizarre, really. Sort of comes up in 22, goes up in 15, and back to 22 up there. So God knows where it goes or what it does, but just reconnect it, basically. And then up in the ceiling somewhere, there's a tower arrow in the bathroom, because the old boiler flow and returns there, and everything up in the airing cable I can join onto, but yeah, like I said, there's a tower rail which teed off before the zone valve, obviously to come on when the hot water came on. So yeah, that's that really. And then I've got to put a new waste in for the sinks, a new sink going there, washing machine, integrated dishwasher, so just leaving the relevant stuff for that really. So the plan is just, yeah, that's all getting boxed in. It's just to cut it back, clip it all, make it a lot neater, and yeah, make it easier for the kitchen fitters to get in really, and then sort out those flow and returns. Yeah, and I think that's that. And like I said, I'll show you what I've done upstairs. I had to cap it off, the old cylinder, so I switched it over yesterday, sorry. And then I've got it running off the immersion. None of the boilers fired up yet because I've got to run a new gas pipe, because I actually came and this was leaking really badly. So the customers have been without heating for a few days, but luckily it's not too cold. But I managed to keep them going on the immersion of the old tank, so I switched that over last night. So yeah, like I said, and then got the old gas stuff for the hob, which all got to come out, but you know, that's it, it's all dead, and they're having an electric hob as well, so yeah, all good. So just ripping out, and I was just pulling that pipe out, and it literally has just come straight out of that socket on the end of that pipe, and like, I don't know if you can see that very well, how, you know, stuff like that, and it just doesn't leak for however many years. But sod's law if I did something like that. Leak straight away, you know, it's just unfair. So this is where I've got to. There you go, hot and cold, those heating pipes connected, all comes down. Try and tuck it in as much as I could, and that's hot and cold for the sink. Might cut in some drain cocks there as well. Then the waste has got to come through the wall. Got a washing machine going in front of that, but it's not integrated, so it might stick out slightly because those pipes come out the ground on the bottom down there, so I can't really move them unless I gun them out. But yeah, and now I've just got to sort out some pipes in the ceiling really, but yeah, happy with that. Now that boiler's off and just neatens it up a bit. So this is where I got to yesterday. That's all filled up. Boiler's all connected apart from PRV condense. That's all, like I say, that's filled up. That's running off the immersion. And as we go around there, there's the hot, cold, balance cold all connected. Just got to connect those flow and returns down into an area cover literally just below. And then that's the heating. Then actually, obviously, that could be filled up with a filling loop. Just got the flue to do. And I'd say, yeah, discharge should do tonight. Boiler discharge. And And then that's pretty much all up here done. In terms of that, obviously lag it all, because it is in the attic. We don't want it obviously to freeze. But yeah, getting there. That's the last bit of the day, so just temporary hot and cold just to feed the old utility kitchen sink so that they've got something. All the bathrooms are up and running, and they're off mains, you know, but yeah, we still connected that, just I suppose washing up, and that's what they wanted. So yeah, all that's all sorted. A few bits up the top sorted as well. Yeah, so pretty happy. Here we go, Friday of the week. So just keep you posted. So condense all drilled through, PRV, and that's the discharge, and that's going to run on there and up into there. If that goes down, I should just about get those measurements to requirements of discharge. But now just drill through that joist with those two 22s, and then I'm going to put some air vents on there. And then yeah, I didn't want to run them over because of airlocks, so I just chucked them through there, and then they'll run down into the airing cupboard to connect on the other stuff. Like I said yesterday, I was just sorting out the kitchen, so yeah, back up here today. Yeah, it's going well. So that's the cylinder and boiler up in there. Obviously ladder, ply floor, etc. So that's all good. This is the airing cupboard I've been on about up in here. That's where the previous pipes came, so main and all that, which all needs to be altered. And then they're my two new holes for the flow and return. I've managed to connect them to the hot up there. And balance cold coming down. And then inside here we've got the old cylinders out. And then there's the pump. It must have been an old gravity fed before the one that was in now, because we've got 28 boiler flow coming out, which will now be dead, so pump can come out in the 3-port. And then because we want to connect just onto the heating, because the flows upstairs to the cylinder, we've got to go, that was the old one to the cylinder, so we got to connect onto that one. And then there's the return there with the old cylinder return into there. They've also run a towel rail off this pipe, so the boiler flow, the vent went up down, you can see it's been cut off and it came back down. Obviously the vent went up there and it's come back down to feed the towel rail, so I've got to connect onto there with the flow as well. So then they can go, so yeah, flow, return, there's another flow over there, and then I've connected, so I've got a bit of plastic because it was a mess down there to try and get any copper through, which will connect up into the return as well. So yeah, and then that'll sort that out, get that work away. I think customer still wants to use it as an airing cupboard, so I might put a small little radiator in there, but we can do that another day because all the pipes will be in there. So yeah, that's the plan, is to bring them down through there, and yeah, then we'll be able to fill up, and yeah, no, that's it really. A bit of a tight squeeze with the old steps, but yeah, getting there. So there's in and that flow and return, so they'll be connected on, like I was saying earlier, down in there with all that stuff, and then up in the attic where I've been working. So obviously that's the old tank, still got to get that out. But there's those flow and return over there. I don't know if you can see them tucked over there. And then there's a little old pipe that needs to be cut out of the way, but there's my new runs all down there. And then, like I said, that all comes along there and to there and to there. And then that condenser run outside and discharge. PRV all needs to be sorted, like I said. The interesting thing is, so this customer's just had a bathroom done like not long ago at all, and the only reason they're redoing all of this plumbing is because the kitchen's been renovated and the boiler was in the kitchen and they didn't want the boiler there anymore. So they've had 2 really nice bathrooms done, obviously all fed off this tank. The downstairs bathroom's a mixed shower, and that gets enough head pressure obviously, so it runs quite well. But the upstairs, they fitted quite a posh, like, electric. It's got a socket it all plugs in, shower, and I still need to connect that, but they got the downstairs one still. So obviously what do I do? You know, brand new shower, all tiled in, everything like that. So I thought initially, can I reduce the pressure, get some reducing valves? So having a look on, I believe, this one, I don't know if you can see that, but it says the maximum that you can have running to that pressure wise is 1 bar, and the minimum pressure is 0.1 bar needed. So what I've done, I've got 2 lever valves there teed off from that cylinder. So what I'm going to do is put 2 pressure reducing valves. I think the ones I've got reduced down to 1 bar, so we'll try that first and see how that goes. But obviously if not, I believe you can go down to 0.5 bar, because if that's down to 1 bar and that says the max it can run at is 1 bar, obviously before it starts to damage it, then that's absolutely fine. And if it works okay, then you know, that's that problem solved. But hopefully, if not, we can always get some 0.5, and you know, if it breaks for whatever reason or anything like that, you can say, well look, we've put reducers on, there's not much more we can do. The shower says it runs at that pressure, or that's the max it can run at. So yeah, that was the other thing I found quite interesting. This is the first Ideal I've ever fitted. As an apprentice, I always used to fit Worcesters, so that's what my boss made us fit. So that's sort of what just when I first went self-employed, that's what I carried on doing. I knew how they were, you know, how they were wired up, how the easiest way to plumb them up, stuff like that, how the flues needed to be done, clearances, distances, all sorts of stuff. I know it's pretty standard stuff in regards to the fluid, but yeah, this one I come across, and I quite like the fixing, the turret, and then you've got that little white sort of plastic which screws down and that holds it, locks it in place, so it can't really be pulled out. But within the casing, on other boilers you obviously have the collars on some of them which go around the top, on like the Valiants and stuff, and glowworms, and the Worcesters you always screw in the side. It comes with screws and whatnot, but this didn't come with any screws. You know, and I don't know whether that's because it doesn't need them. Ideal says it's push fit, or you know, so yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have to phone up. I don't know. Obviously, I'd, you know, put 2 screws in either side, one there and one on the other side, to hold that in, and obviously plug that up. But I just thought that was a bit bizarre, because what's, you know, this is high level, this is up in the attic, but if it's ground level, what's to stop someone from pulling it out or anything like that? So yeah, that was my only thing so far with this, but I'll let you know how I get on with the rest of it. Just a quick one, interrupting the video of the job and whatnot, and that's just these Milwaukee pack out crates. Initially, like with a lot of the Milwaukee stuff, I was a bit apprehensive with the price, and thinking, oh, it's a bit of plastic, that's quite a lot of money, etc. Same with the pack out trolley, and I was like, oh, this nearly 250 quid, just for a bit of plastic and whatnot. But I tell you what, when I went into CEF, the electrical merchants, and I saw it on display, they had one in the shop, and I was actually quite impressed by the quality, which is why I ended up going for a couple of these as well. You know, they're like 50 quid a pop, but it's got all my fittings in. I know it's not going to fall over. You can stack them, and they're really quite tough. So if you are looking after your gear, and you take pride in what you buy and being organised, I think they're definitely worth buying, and they will last if you look after them. So that initial price, I think potentially is worth it. Let me know your thoughts. This is the other thing as well. Being a plumber, I suppose, I had these nice Nipex pliers, and I have used them to cut a lot of nails and all sorts of stuff, which is sort of, I guess, blunted them. I know you probably sharpen them. They're not damaged or anything, they still work for wiring. But it wasn't until I saw these Klein ones. They're like Macmillan Cancer limited edition ones, and I just fancied them. But now I can use these just for wiring, and these ones for all other sort of stuff. But yeah, no, just just let me know your thoughts on them. Yeah, so just had to nip here Saturday morning because bloody looking at the weather, it's going to go -4 over the weekend. So I just quickly lagged the hot, cold, anything that's filled up really, to best as I can, all along there, and it all goes down the back there. But yeah, fun little morning out. Off to the weekend.